An idyllic haven, Ashen Vale is the picture of tranquility. Amidst this serene landscape stands a Victorian beauty, a charming house that holds a dark past beneath its elegant facade. The Stevens family, charmed by this picturesque town and the promise of a fresh start. John Stevens, a successful lawyer, saw an opportunity in this house. For his wife Emily and their two children, Lucy and Thomas, he envisioned a haven, a dream home. The real estate agent, burdened by the house's unsettling history, chose silence over truth to get the paycheck. Seduced by the town's beauty and the house's charm, the family was oblivious to the shadows that lurked within. With a flourish of a pen, the deed was signed, blissfully unaware of the darkness that lay ahead. As the Stevens family settled into their new home, whispers echoed through the hallways at night, and shadows danced in corners where the light struggled to reach. It was as if the house itself was alive. The whispers were faint at first, like a soft humming through the air. They could be heard in the dead silence of the night, secrets that the walls of the house refused to keep. Yet the family dismissed these whispers as the settling of an old house, the creaking of timbers, the rustling of leaves outside their windows. Emily, the heart of the Stevens family, often felt a chilling breeze brush past her, even on the warmest of nights. A feeling of unease would creep up on her, a sense of being watched, a touch that left behind a cold trail on her skin. But she attributed these feelings to her mind playing tricks on her, the anxiety of moving to a new place. Lucy, the elder of the two Stevens children, was a curious person with a fascination for the unknown. She would often sit alone in her room trying to decipher the whispers, believing that the house was trying to communicate with them. She was drawn to the shadows. Then there was Thomas, the younger sibling, a practical boy who dismissed his sister's fascination with the paranormal as childish fantasies. He laughed off the whispers and the shadows, finding logical explanations for each odd occurrence. Yet even his laughter couldn't mask the unease that he felt when he was alone in his room, with the shadows playing tricks on his mind. In their denial, they missed the warning signs, the whispers growing louder, the shadows darker. They were oblivious to the ominous transformation of their dream home into a living nightmare. Their ignorance was a veil, blinding them from the truth that was slowly creeping up on them. As the night fell, the whispers turned into a chorus of voices, the shadows morphed into haunting figures, and the house prepared to show its true colors. The subtle disturbances soon escalated into more tangible manifestations. Doors creaked open in the dead of night, footsteps echoed through empty hallways. Emily was the first to sense the unseen. An uncanny feeling of being watched, an unseen hand brushed against her skin, leaving a trail of frost in its wake. It was as if some presence had woven itself into the very air she breathed, its icy tendrils curling around her. The once vibrant woman began to dwindle, her spirit dampened by an unshakable dread that clung to her like a shadow. Lucy, her curiosity piqued by the spectral occurrences, embraced the house's energy. The young girl, with her fascination for the supernatural, tried to reach out to the spirits. She saw them not as threats, but as echoes of the past yearning for connection. She'd sit in the dim light of her room, eyes closed, reaching out to the unseen with a naive bravery. However, in her innocent attempts at communication, Lucy unknowingly opened a portal to an otherworldly realm, a door she didn't know how to close. Thomas, the rational, skeptical one, laughed off the stories of creaking doors and spectral whispers as figments of overactive imaginations. But even his skepticism faltered in the face of the inexplicable. The eerie melodies that filled the silence of his room, the icy fingers tracing patterns on his sleeping face, became harder to ignore or explain away. The house was no longer just a structure, it was a living, breathing entity, its heartbeat echoing in the hollowness of the night. The Stevens family, caught in the spectral web of their home, began to see the reality they had denied for so long. As the days passed, the once picture-perfect family began to unravel. Dark circles adorned their eyes, and whispers turned into anguished screams. Emily was now a shell of her former self. The once warm and loving mother now roamed the hallways aimlessly, her eyes vacant and her spirit crushed. She was plagued by visions, tormented by an unseen force that whispered cruel nothings in her ear, and touched her with an icy hand. Her laughter had turned into a hollow echo, a chilling reminder of the woman she used to be. John tried to hold on to the remnants of his sanity. His faith in logic and reason was severely tested as he was faced with phenomena that defied all explanation. Doors that locked by themselves, lights that flickered without any electrical fault, and cold spots that dotted their home like invisible ice patches. The lawyer in him sought answers, but the husband and father in him felt a growing dread, a fear that they were trapped in a nightmare they couldn't escape. Lucy and Thomas were not spared from the terror that gripped their home. Lucy's attempts to communicate with the unknown entity had only served to stoke its malevolence. Thomas, previously skeptical, was now a silent observer, his laughter replaced by an unsettling quiet. His room echoed with an eerie melody that played in the stillness of the night. Doors slammed shut, trapping the family in their respective rooms. Unearthly wails echoed, and an otherworldly force gripped the Stevens family in a vice of terror. The house, with its Victorian charm, stood silently, its secret held within its walls, a silent witness to the fall of the Stevens family. With the first light of dawn, the house fell into an eerie silence. Ashen Vale, known for its beauty, now harbored a dark secret. The once vibrant Stevens family had become a tragic tale, woven into the haunted fabric of their ill-fated home. Each member, consumed by the insidious forces within, now contributed to the house's sinister symphony of whispers and shadows. The house, having claimed its victims, stood silent and unassuming, a beautiful trap lying in wait for its next unsuspecting family. The whispers, now carried by the wind, warned of the malevolence that lingered within the walls, a tale of a haunted house that hungered for the souls of those who dared to call it home.